Thank you for meeting with us today.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule today to meet with us. My name is Carmen Labruto, and these are my fellow associates: Zachary Hoffman, Michael Prochak, Joshua Guilford, and Kyler Kowaleski. We are PwC's tax consulting team and are here to discuss our recommended tax strategy with you. But before we start, we want to go over a quick overview with you guys. To start off, we want to mention financial and non-financial data. Then we will go through ways to interpret this data with the use of tools such as Google Analytics, touch upon research and development tax incentives, and then finish up with our suggested expansion plan. So what type of financial and non-financial data should a gaming company like yourselves be looking at? Well, the same exact data that everyone around the world and all different companies would look at. This would include your state and local tax rates of your proposed expansion plan. For example, Omaha, Nebraska has a 6.84% state income tax, whereas Whittier and Long Beach, California have a 13.3% state income tax. Other financial data would include retirement and medical plans of your employees, research and development, and corporation taxation. Moving on for non-financial data, we suggest to look at environmental and intellectual property.
This financial and non-financial data can be used in a data analytics system. A data analytics system provides a substantial amount of information that can be accessed easily and efficiently. It also displays this information in the form of visual aids, being charts and graphs. This makes reading and sorting this information very easy. Another perk of a data analytics system is you have the ability to ask the system a question and receive answers. Now you might be asking yourselves, how can we access this data? Well, this data can be accessed through a cloud and on-premises deployment, which means that the data analytics system is held on your company's internal hard drive and on the cloud. There's 5 key factors to the cloud and on-premises deployment, the most important being security. Nowadays, companies hold all of their crucial information on the computer, and you want to keep foreign entities from getting their hands on that information. And cloud and on-premises deployment ensures security. The 4 other factors of the cloud and on-premises deployment are disaster recovery, scalability, reliability, and availability. Now, with working with a data analytics system, we recommend you also look into data integration, a database management system, and user interface.
Now I'd like to talk about some tools we recommend for you to use in order to analyze this data effectively. The first of which is a big data system, which is an extremely large set of data that offers various benefits when properly analyzed. The analysis of big data is often a more efficient way of analyzing data and can save time and resources and helps the user to gather as much information as possible from the vast amounts of data that have been collected. The other tool I want to talk about is predictive analysis, which is the process of analyzing current data to make predictions about the future. For example, recent trends on tax laws and rates in the areas that Pandemonium is interested in expanding to can be analyzed to predict the state of these areas in the future. This data can then be compared to determine which area will most likely offer the best scenario from a tax liability standpoint for Pandemonium in the future and where you guys should expand. Now, after considering multiple big data systems, we highly recommend that you use Google Analytics. Google Analytics is used by 54% of all companies, as well as 67% of the Fortune 500 companies. And many success stories have been reported, such as Eltsoft, TiVo, and Certain Affinity, which are other app companies such as yourselves. In addition, we recommend you use Google's predictive analysis system, Google Prediction API, which will greatly complement your use of Google Analytics.
So we noticed in the email that you sent us, you mentioned that your next series of apps is currently in the research and development phase. I'd like to talk a little bit about a tax credit you may be eligible for to help further reduce your tax liability. regarding these research and development expenses you're going to incur. Sections 41 and 174 of the Federal Tax Code talk about a research and development tax credit. And in the case of Pandemonium, it actually benefits software developers and tech companies. However, less than 10% of all companies that are even eligible to receive it actually take advantage of it. So we will at least want you leaving here today with some better knowledge about it and how it can really help you and benefit you in the future. So to file for this tax credit, you have to fill out Form 6765 at the IRS, and there's two ways to calculate it. The regular credit method, which is complicated and we recommend having a qualified tax professional helping you with. However, if you decide to go that route, we do offer those services and can bring in some of the best professionals from around the world, including anyone from our National Tax Office in Washington, D.C. to help you. Second is the alternative simplified credit method, but I want to touch on that a little bit later. So what qualifies as research and development expenses? The IRS uses a four-part test. First, it must have a permitted purpose, be technological in nature, and there must be a series of experimentations to eliminate any uncertainty. So it's like applying the scientific method to a tech company's product. Also, keep in mind, keep track of your employees. If you can prove that 80% of their time is spent on the research and development process, you can claim 100% of their wages. You can claim 100% of any associated office supplies, 65% of any work that you had contracted out, and 75% of any work you had done by tax-exempt groups, organizations, or universities. Also, on any graphs, diagrams, schematics, plans, even if it's written on a napkin, just hold on to it because it serves as proof to the IRS as to what you're claiming. So going back to the alternative simplified credit method, this allows a company to calculate its credit based on 50% of the average it's spent over the last 3 years on research and development. And any number over that baseline, you get to claim 14% on. So based on the financials that you gave us, Pandemonium's average for the last 3 years was $3,019,500. So hypothetically speaking, if you spend another $8.7 million this year like you did last year, you're going to be able to claim 14% on $5,680,500, which is going to give you an overall tax credit of $795,270. One other thing to keep in mind is, if you plan on changing the way you file your taxes, you also have to fill out Form 3115 to get the IRS's consent. So we hope this gives you a little bit better of an idea of the research and development tax credit, what it is, how to calculate it, and how it could really benefit your company in the future.
We also saw that you were looking to expand foreignly between two Southeastern Asian countries, Kahala and Tuam. And when looking into this information, we primarily focused on the offerings of the decreased corporate tax, as well as what they require of you, specifically dealing with the maintaining of a physical presence in that country, as well as the percentage of employees you must have as their citizens. And with that, we also looked into the proposed presidential tax plans, specifically focusing on three. As you see in the chart, we have it listed as Proposal A, Proposal B, and Proposal C, listing from corporate tax rate all the way down to itemized deductions of income tax. And we specifically picked these three because we felt they were most relevant with your proposed expansion plans. And while looking over all this information, we recommend at this time that you do not foreignly expand. And you're probably wondering, why not at this time? Well, we could give you three good reasons for that. The first being the proposed corporate tax rates. As low as the two countries are offering you, it doesn't compare to what Proposal A has for the 15% corporate tax rate. Secondly is with tax inversions. We saw that the U.S. Treasury is really trying to crack down on them, specifically having that the American parent own at least 60 to 80% ownership of the new merged company, as well as instituting these hopscotch loans. And we also saw that in Proposal B that they're trying to strengthen the rules on tax inversions, especially with its limitations. And thirdly, we saw with the money repatriated from international businesses, we saw that there was an estimated of $2.5 trillion overseas. And with Proposal C, it has enacted a repatriation of foreign income at a 10% rate. And with all this information, we hope that you have a better understanding of how proposed corporate tax rate plans can have an effect on foreign expansion.
We hope our strategy helps you better understand what financial and non-financial data the company should be looking at, how Google Analytics with its security can help you with your data, how to calculate a research and development tax credit, and how corporate tax plans in the future can affect your financials. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, now we'd be happy to take them.